for a while.
Oh,
A broken foot or something.
Oh, well, that seems to be a problem with a lot of national leaders.
Yeah, they're all having problems.
Personalities, I'd rather say.
But I understand that she had sort of prodded the sheriff to give some thought to joining the U.S. Marshal Service. Now, this is a rumor. I don't know.
And Agatha,
Aunt Agatha heard that, yes, and also that there was also a move to convince Mr. Ivey to become a judge or some such lofty position. I don't know. And that would clear the way for Rushern Baker, I would think.
Sure, or some other candidate.
There might be some other candidate. I don't know who.
Rushern has run before he has an edge, of course, there. And those voters may be very loyal again to him and to gain more support.
Well, he was very popular in Bowie.
Sure.
He was very popular in Bowie. And as I say, he was the head of the legislative delegation in Annapolis and certainly knows how the political game is played. And he's a very bright guy. I think he would be an excellent candidate. I'm not totally convinced by the sheriff.
Yeah, he's made, it seems like that this thing that happened with the mayor over in Berwyn Heights, was it?
Was it Berwyn Heights or Colmar Manor? Or?
Berwyn Heights, I believe.
Berwyn Heights, yeah.
I'm not positive of that.
Some little place,
a small town in Prince George County. That's got national attention on it.
It was on CNN. I think I've mentioned that in the past. Yeah, because it was absurd. And of course he said, "Oh, we did nothing wrong." Well, that isn't what some national experts said.
Yeah, that's one big issue, and so Agatha has heard that. Well, one thing about Agatha keep in touch with us and with you particularly.
Yeah,
she may not be interested in getting into the journalism, media. Writing.
No, but she still has her contacts, and I guess she corresponds with people via email or whatever, and hears all the local gossip. Not too much local gossip, though. You know, she hasn't a clue as to whether there are any challenges on the horizon. I'm sure inevitably, though, as we said earlier, there will be the marginal candidates who will jump in and perhaps pull out a week or two before the election, such as has happened in the past. But sure, I agree with you totally. I would like to see competition in the city council race and the mayoral race. Although I don't see anybody challenging Fred Robinson at this point.
I wouldn't think so. He's got a good record, of course, and we'll have an opportunity to speak to them as we move along and let them respond to it. Maybe, and Agatha, if you let her know we're going to have some on, there may be some questions from her.
There may be. You never know.
That's I think, a part of your lifetime contract.
Well, now that she has a motorcycle, you see, she's quite busy zooming all over the place.
I probably see her a great deal because in traveling around southern Maryland, entourages of motorcycles. And I would think the average age of those people on those cycles I see is probably about 55.
Yeah, well, that's the younger edge. Boy, that seems. I was in Ocean City at one time when they're having motorcycle weekend. Oh. And there were a lot of people with beards and hair the same color as mine. these guys, they had ponytails. I could not do a ponytail. It's just nothing there to make a ponytail out of them.
Well, one thing I appreciate about them, and I see them driving safely, and they seem to have a leader type guy like Canada Geese when they come over. You know, they got the leader in.
Well, they all look like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, they all a lot too. And you know, I'll tell you one thing. My son-in-law bought a Harley Davidson. He had it from.
You have to be rich to buy a Harley Davidson.
I know, and he.
That's what they say. These old guys are the only ones that can afford them.
Well, they're expensive, but they are a pretty safe vehicle, and I observe them in groups. There's a large number that just strictly have that type of motorcycle. But can't help but mention this. Almost every month I read about at least one or two motorcycle deaths.
Yeah.
And one was a guy coming from North Beach, a motorcycle, and as he passed the car, there was the oncoming car was not a problem. There was a car passing behind him. He was trying to get back in. The oncoming car hit him, killed him.
Well, there was an old adage that I heard many, many years ago from some old curmudgeon, who to me was a curmudgeon at the time, but now I am. But it was, if you own a motorcycle and haven't had an accident, you will.
Yeah, I hate to even say that, but I'll tell you, when I got on that one that my son-in-law had, I looked at my grandchildren and I said, "Are you sure you want to do this.
Yeah.
They have a certain group that helps others learn. And it was a beautiful machine, but I'll tell you, very expensive. He sold it to the dealership that he got it through, and it had formerly belonged to a Prince George's County, either police officer or firefighter.
Oh, maybe it was part of the sheriff's motorcycle brigade.
No, it was a blue one. You know, there are a lot of people love that blue because of their occupation. But I noticed something the other day. I wondered if I was our sheriff leading this big limousine. It looked like one of the presidential limousine it looked like.
Yeah.
Going up Highway 301 towards Crofton.
Right.
And before I saw that, I saw a dozen blue-cap police officers on motorcycles riding ahead of them.
Yeah.
And about 3 blocks was clear with just these single motorcycles, and apparently they were blocking entrance. I read in every paper I could get, and I saw nothing about someone going to a meeting or something up in that direction from the White House. Huh. And I don't know how anyone other than the president and VP that would have that kind of escort. And it's not a shortcut to BWI.
Maybe it was the county executive.
Could be, but they had the blue things. That's the Capitol Police officers on both sides,
okay,
you know.
yeah.
But it was a sight to see all of a sudden.
Could have they been going to a funeral? These?
Well, you know, that I hadn't thought of that. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
And that could have been why I probably didn't read it in the paper, and I don't know who it was. But when I thought about it, it was in the afternoon about 2 o'clock. I'll probably read about some meeting. It was an emergency, not an emergency, but an opportunity thing. But anyway, when I saw that, I realized that there are some use for motorcycles, but I don't know what the sheriff would have a need for.
No, neither do I. Generally, they should be traffic control and that sort of thing. There's no need. And you said last week,
yeah,
you know, they're for parades.
That's exactly.
Every time he appears at the Bowie July 4th parade, he's got this entourage of motorcycle riding deputies. I think it's a bit ostentatious. And in this time of severe financial problems in Prince George's County, what in heaven's name are we doing with a motorcycle contingent? It's an absolute waste of money.
Particularly. And you know, John, and we're dipping into, while we're in the county, I just observed the
Did you get your county tax bill, by the way, recently?
Yeah.
I noticed it's up.
Yeah.
Oh.
It will be. And then there's still this battle about the Prince George County budget.
Yeah.
And the layoffs.
Oh, I know.
I don't think they've debated exactly all they're going to have, but apparently they've had some furloughs.
Oh, they've had a lot of furloughs.
And when they, we've said this before, but I want to bring it up again, when they say there's 255 people at the University of Maryland that will be considered reductions, it's not people laid off. That's just hiring opportunities they had, and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And they're managing, if they manage pretty good without those additional of approved hires,
yeah,
that's the manager you need to keep.
Oh, sure.
So that he can, it's ridiculous to me when they periodically suggest we're going to increase our staffing. Unless there's a reason for increasing staffing in any
Well, the
business.
Prince George's County Council members already have an inflated staff. They have more staff in those offices. What they do eludes me than does our state senators and state delegates. I mean, come on.
It's unbelievable.
It is totally unbelievable. They're furloughing police and closing county fire stations.
That's the point.
Why do these county council people have big staffs? It's absurd.
And you know, that neutralizes, in my opinion, their ability to say, hey, we should not close that fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there was some days that we had reporters that say, well, they made that suggestion that we do not close that, and yet they hired 2 additional people last year. And what they do, I don't know, and what they need them for, I don't think anyone knows.
No, no one does, no.
But usually in business, often the work expands to meet the staff you've allocated if you're growing, and other times your business grows and you have to bring people in to take care of your new business. I don't see that happening in the county government.
No, not at all.
And I think the city put a hiring freeze on the city of Bowie a few months back because could anticipate, no doubt, some reduction in funding from the state.
Well, our city council members don't have staffs. They all share with the city clerk.
Sure, that's right. And volunteer, do everything they should.
Yeah.
It's just the year, John, we're going to jump back to city politics now. The newly elected people this year will have the benefit of an increased salary.